G and I are getting close to the end of all that footage that I recorded during the Quilt Show week. And one of the things that we wanted to share with you was the evening programs. Each year, the Stitching Post provides evening programs during the Quilters Affair. Lots of fun times. I did miss, unfortunately, the Tulip Pink talk, where she was sharing her quilts because the tickets were sold out and I didn't realize that there was a ticket set aside for me. Otherwise, I would have so been there. But we do have 3 designers that will be sharing with you just small snippets of their talks because we want you to come and enjoy all the artists that come here when they're sharing their quilts with you. The first one is Sujata Shah. She is from Mumbai, India, but lives in Pennsylvania with her husband now. She has 3 grown children. She was a textile and graphic artist and brings all the color of India here with her. She isn't one that is going to kind of get fused about the 1/4 inch seam or the points matching. She is all about free form and was very much inspired by the G's Bend Quilters. So, if you want to hang around, you'll enjoy little snippets of her talk.
The other thing about her is that you really see the cultural influence of textiles and in her work, whether it's the design work or whether it's the eclectic mix of fabrics. But I feel she has a very, very distinctive style, and as people get to know her and they start making her quilts, I think she's going to have a big following. So I'd like you to welcome Sujata, and we're going to get to see a lot of her work tonight.
Thank you, Jean, for that wonderful introduction. I'm so happy to be here. It is an honor to be standing here in front of all of you quilters. I really never thought I would be standing here. So, again, thank you. 40 or 42 years ago, did you say Sisters Quilt Show started? Just about that time, I was in my teenage years. I watched the tailors sew the clothes, and all those crafts were so beautiful. You know, textile, art, and architecture, it is always around you. You never really escape that when you are in India. If you've ever been to India, you will see that everyday life is including everything that I just mentioned. What I have done here is put up a little presentation for you to see some slides of India and my journey as a quilter. I moved here in this country, to this country when I was 23, and I barely spoke English. It was just, I was a new graphic designer and I wanted to work as a graphic designer, but I couldn't quite work as a graphic designer. So let me take you back to India first and show you what my home country is like. There you go. I want you to focus on all the hand quilting and all the imperfection that's there. If it's made by hand, there's going to be imperfection. My goal is to teach my students to let go of any imperfections that they need to do. Because by the time they stress over all that, they are forgetting that they're supposed to have fun. So there's a couple of samples of Indian quilts out there. And here's another one. Now if you focus on all the diamonds here, they are missing points. And these little triangle trims that you see, those are hand appliques. So these are the 3 examples of Indian and Pakistani quilt. While you bring the quilts out, I'm going to tell you why it depicts cultural fusion. And the blocks, the applique blocks I designed, they actually show the block prints of India, and the lines you see up and down, they are actually what I was inspired by from the Quilts of G-Spec. And the next couple of quilts you're going to see, I actually started designing patterns when I was working in a quilt shop. And even when they were straight line, I needed to make them wonky. And then this quilt is called Box of Candies with the Crumbs. And I needed to add the crumbs in there. Here's another quilt, Dancing Dressed in Place. This was also designed in 2004 at E5. And if you don't mind showing the back, please. And I had started just adding my G-Spence influence into my on the front cover of the Quilts of G-Spence. This quilt is very meaningful to me because it's called Driftwood. I made this in 2008, and thank you, Seth. Here's the quilt I call my Indian colors. It's a pattern from one of Kate's book, but I had to make it my own by adding colors of India. So when I have my scraps, I can't throw them away because maybe I'm from India. We don't throw anything away. But and they're tiny little scraps, but I know I can artfully arrange them in a way where they become meaningful.
And our next clip is with Joe Cunningham. He has been quilting professionally since 1979. That is a long history. It is followed by a 10-year history as a musician in Michigan. So Joe, when you see his clips, it is a combination of music and quilting and a very dry sense of humor that really makes you laugh. He has written 11 books and has brought the history of quilting along with him. And his quilts are right now housed in many museums around the United States.
We are very excited about our program this year. Val invited Joe Cunningham to come and participate in Quilters Affair, and we know he's also a musician. And we thought that would be a really great program to have this evening when there's so many of you here, and to hear about his stories about quilting.
Thanks, Jean, and all the helpers, the past helpers and future helpers. I got some Scottish plaid, some pillow ticking stripe, some Andalusian lace that'll make some real nice pipe. Got some Dupioni silk, smuggled out through Greece. I'm just one batik away from starting my masterpiece. Tried to take a class with Jean Wells down in LA, but I missed her. Had to take her all the way to the Stitchin post in Sisters. I'm certified in Paducah. Walked Houston till I wore out my knees. I'm just one batik away from starting my masterpiece. I just got to find that one perfect sea green batik. I'll be able to start sewing, man. I know what it's going to look like. Be able to hang it up in sisters. Year after year. And so to finally be here is a great honor and a pleasure. And to see friends, old and new, to make new friends. A lot of them sitting right here in the front row. Don't make me call you out by name. It's been a fantastic week. I love the weather. I live in San Francisco, and the weather here, it's warmer than San Francisco. So the way I learned to make quilts, studying with Mary, was to copy old quilts. It was sort of like the classical music model. You learn by copying the masterpieces. I didn't copy that many masterpieces, but I did copy a lot of old quilts. And collected old quilts and started to realize that, hey, this idea of the tradition looks different to me than these quilts that I'm finding in the tradition. Yes, you may. Like this one. Here you go, from around 1910 or so. See how traditional it is? It's my favorite kind of quilt. It's a cotton crazy. You can see how this woman made this quilt. People that took my class yesterday will see where I got my class the day before. It's made in chunks, freely pieced chunks. See that? See this? It's a big chunk right here. She made this chunk, sewed it onto that chunk. See what I mean? Big long seam down the middle. Made this red square here, I call this one the red square, and put this little applique rectangle on the corner there. Just to make it more traditional, I guess. But no eucalyptus, and so these leaves, they're gorgeous. They look like a narrow paisley. And there's sticks everywhere. It's in the woods. And I would go walking through the woods, and they were so beautiful. And I thought, oh, I see what I could do. I could make a 4-block quilt where all 4 blocks would be the same, but they would all be different if I made them like some of these brush piles out there. I thought to myself, now that's a quilt that'd be really popular if I called it brush piles and made pictures of brush piles. See what I mean? See, it's a 4-block quilt. They're all the same. How about if I let you hold it? They're all the same block. They're brush piles, but they're all different. It's a real crowd pleaser. And then eucalyptus leaves all around the edge. This, I mean, it's a fancy knot. Take my word for it. And so then I thought, well, what would a lover's knot look like to me? I mean, a lover's knot is kind of the image of a relationship. That's what I thought. It's an image of a relationship. So I thought of me and my wife. See what I mean? Make me a quilt, make me a quilt. I hear that you're not too busy these days, so you might as well do it. You might as well make me a quilt. Might as well go on and do it, just make me a quilt.
Come!